Hello. Happy New Year. How are you? It has been a while since I talked about something fun that has legitimately interested me. And you know me, if I go too long without doing that, I'll die. Over the past 2 months at this point, geez, I thought it's only been 2 weeks since I last worked on a video. I probably forgot how to edit. You may be asking, what have you been doing over your hiatus from having bad opinions on the internet? My response to that is, why do you care? The box art, something that I personally believe is a pretty key part to a video game. Am I joking? Maybe, but something about the box art of a game just makes owning it physically just feel all the more special, and can even look cool having it on a shelf. Yeah, I have guilt, why do you ask? For me, I love seeing a game's box art, and call me names all you want, if it has a shitty box art, I'm probably less likely to buy the game, unless I was already interested in the game beforehand. Yeah, there are some slip-ups, but we all make mistakes. Yes, I am not the first person to cover video game box art. I am very well aware of that fact, but what if I rewrote history to change that? That was not Donald Trump in Home Alone 2, that was actually just a skinwalker. And we are all going to die. So the basic box art, to kick things off, you know, the stuff that you see whenever you pick up a physical game, these can vary in quality. You may get something really cool, like a BioShock cover, or this. How do you even explain this to someone? For a game to have good box art, I do feel like it is a bit hard to achieve that. Not really hard, though. However, I think it is even harder to make a really bad one. Did you even try? Most cases, at least in my opinion, a lot of cover arts are just very bland. Here's one, Call of Duty. Yeah, one of the lowest hanging fruits in the industry. You call this game bad and you'll get a standing ovation as if you said something profound that not many have said before. These cover arts are so generic. It makes sense though, I mean, have you played these games? But I have an extremely hot take that will get me shot on sight. I think Call of Duty Vanguard's box art is actually pretty good. The game itself, it's pretty obvious it's not when you look at it. But when you look at the box art in comparison to even just the Infinity Ward games, it looks so much more interesting. Not much more interesting, I mean, it's Call of Duty, but still. But then you got the Black Ops games, well, just the first three, at least. I like these three. It's very basic, I know, but come on, who doesn't like Black Ops, guy? Of course, there are other, hell, even better examples of what a good box art looks like. Final Fantasy VII is easily one of my favorites and probably one of the best ones of all time. That's not really a hot take. I'm pretty sure that's colder than frozen food. I love the Dead Space cover art too, at least the original game's art. The remakes is good too, I just prefer the original more. And then Doom 2016, this cover art is amazing, I love it. It's not even the main one. Home run! This is the alternate cover. This was the main one. How the hell do you make Doom Guy look boring? The cover for Eco is pretty nice, I like it. Here's what North America got. I usually don't hate stuff that much. That probably seems really shocking to hear considering the videos I make. But when it comes to cover art, I usually don't hate a lot of it. At worst, I just think some of it can be just okay. But if it's good, it's good. So for me to think a game's cover is bad, it must have deeply offended me. Come on. This is just funny. You could always also end up with Chegger's Party Quiz. Never mind, that might just be the best of all time. Some of the worst cover arts for games I feel like mainly were from before the 2000s. There was still bad covers from games past that point, like Eco in North America, but it was very few and far between, at least in my opinion. Nowadays, covers can just be pretty good, or at worst just be very generic and bland. But I do like bad cover arts. They can be hilariously bad. And that's usually what they are. There's never one that is bad that you look at and just be like, damn, that fucking sucks. Usually, if a cover art is bad, it's funny. It's just goofy looking and it looks like someone didn't even make an attempt. However, no matter who it is or what they make, nothing will ever top what is truly the greatest box art of all time. You think I'm joking, but really, I'm in a lot of debt. The GameStop pre-owned game box art that they just print off and put on a case that happens to be missing box art. There is quite a lot to unpack here, so let's not do that. There is this little tiny thing about the official box arts, at least on Xbox, that kinda irritates me a bit. And before you say anything, Yes, it is a very stupid thing to be mad at. I don't know why, but I just hate this. Requires content download. Gee, thanks, I didn't know that considering every other game these days does it. If you want to be surprised, pretty much every modern Call of Duty has this on the case. I say every, but in all reality, I only own 3 on disc. Vanguard, however, doesn't really have that tag at the bottom, though, weirdly. It says it on here, but it's small and not really noticeable unless you are actively looking for it. It's not the worst thing in the world, if anything, I'm just being a whiny bitch about it. But you know, sometimes I think life might be better without it. You could also have something like Dying Light. Thank you, Dying Light. I did not know what console I owned this game on. The Xbox logo on newer games released for the Series X looks like something. I don't have the balls to say if it looks good or not, so I'll let you decide. But then you got Forza Horizon 4. This is not something any normal person would want to flex. But thank you, IGN. Very cool. I have no idea if any of this stuff is similar on PlayStation. I don't own one, so I'm not going to talk like I do. But yeah, it's something that most times confuses me or even just irritates me depending on how much of an idiot I want to be. Not much more I have to add on to this discussion. I just thought it was stupid and funny to point out. So let's just move on. Then you have the next culprit of video game box art. Steelbook cases. I got a hot take here, alright? Now, I know I've already had terrible takes within the last few months already, but wait, there's more. I am not that big of a fan of these Steelbook cases. I myself happen to own one, however. Just one. I usually don't buy the ultimate collector buttfuck editions of my games, but I did for Far Cry 6, because within less than half a year, this was rotting on the shelf for $60. This special edition of the game costed about double what I paid for it. This is insane. The DLC code didn't work. I picked this up in a GameStop in early 2022. I didn't even know this till I got home, but I discovered the case looked different, and I had found myself with my first and only ever Steelbook case. It's fucking hideous. Listen, if you happen to like this, that's great, but me personally, I'm not a big fan of a giant cock being on my game case. I've seen some other ones that look just decent, at least better than Far Cry 6's, like Persona 5's or Sonic Frontiers. These are ones that my friends at least showed me. They're okay, I don't think they're bad. Just me personally, I prefer the original game cases. I do get the appeal of them, just I wouldn't spend the extra money for it. Then you have Super Smash Bros. Well, that was just a bit lazy, don't you think? But then we get to the part of the video that honestly is the only reason I'm even coming back out of a hiatus in the first place. And if you are still wondering what that may be, open up a game case, you might find yourself a surprise. Reversible covers, inside art, alternate covers, whatever the hell it is. I'm not really sure what it's called. Let's just go with reversible covers and inside art. I love this stuff. It is never something of priority for the developers or the artists when getting a game out the door. But whenever I open a case and see it, it kind of just makes me smile. I don't know why. I really love it whenever they include it. As I just said, they can range from either like reversible covers or alternate cover art, or just some inside art for when you open up the box. Xbox and PlayStation, as far as I know, don't really do this much, however, which does suck. Fallout 76 does, for some reason. Don't ask why I own this on disc. I don't feel like elaborating. It's not bad though, it's just 3 little guys walking out of a vault. Cyberpunk 2077 does this too, and all it is just a gender swap, which is cool. It is quite literally just the cover on the other side, but with a woman. Awesome. All my other Xbox games, nothing. Unless you count the white paper with words, then sure, go ahead. Good luck figuring out what game you're picking off the shelf. Alright guys, let's play some Resident Evil 4 Remake today. What the fuck? Then you got the Switch games, at least the ones I own. Don't ask, this isn't even technically mine. Out of all my Switch games, a total of 9 actually have something on the inside, and all of them definitely look more like something you would want to keep on the inside. Like sure, you could flip out the art here, but don't expect it to actually look good on a shelf. Like Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. Your first mistake was buying Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. But the inside art definitely is just made to be looked at from the inside when you open up the case, which is fine. I wouldn't want this displayed on my shelf anyway. I like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's inside art. It's basically just a manual. I think it's pretty cool and it's useful to whoever hasn't played Mario Kart before. But the real question is, does an LOL surprise game have it? Super Smash Bros. The Ultimate art I think is pretty cool too, unlike the Steelbook. It's just the roster and I find that pretty cool. I definitely think my favorites are Paper Mario, Origami King, and Pikmin 4, however. I love these, they are simple yet they are so cute. Just really nice to look at. However, I still would not flip it inside out to show it on my shelf. It just looks more like something you would look at on the inside. Another one of my favorites is Metroid Dread. This itself could work as an alternate cover art for the game, which I think makes it 10 times better. I just like how Samus looks here. It's hard for me to describe it, but it's amazing. I do think the other ones I have are cool too, but I don't really feel like talking about the rest of them. Maybe I really should have given that homeless man a place to stay. Personally, I really love it when opening a game case and seeing some cool art on the inside. I feel like it adds more to it. Unfortunately, I am pretty sure Nintendo really is the only one that does this. Sure, there are some other games on other consoles that do it, but it's so few and far between that if there are any other Xbox or PlayStation games that do this, please tell me. I'd love to know about them. In my opinion, I think having art visible when you should open up a game case should be mandatory. If they don't do this, I will refund immediately. All jokes aside, I do really love just opening up a game case and seeing whatever cool art the artist made for the game. Is it necessary? No. And I wouldn't want it prioritized over stuff that might actually be important to the game, but if they're able to, then sure, why not? And that's all I got for today. Maybe next time when I return, I'll do something. Happy New Year to everyone. I know I'm late, but when am I never late? Make sure to like the video. Something could happen to you if you do. Not sure if it will be good or not. Subscribe to me because I like video game. And if you enjoyed the video, good. Now goodbye.